Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cloverly Academy. My name is Sophia Wardell, and today we have a very special guest, Harvard educated educator, author, and YouTuber, Dr. Elechi Osueke. Dr. Osueke is the author of The Girl Who Wouldn't Stop Crying. She has been an accomplished elementary school educator for over a decade. She is a Harvard graduate from the School of Education, as well as a school management and leadership scholar with a master's in childhood education and special education. Dr. Osueke also holds a doctorate in human and organizational psychology. Dr. Suki is an illustrator, graphic designer, interior decorator, and musician. Thanks for joining us today, Dr. Osueke.
Thank you as well. And it's my pleasure to be here joining you. I'm excited and it's great to be on here with you again.
Yeah, it's our pleasure to have you. And so today I want to talk all about teaching as a children's author. So, Dr. Osueke, what inspired you to write an interesting children's book like The Girl Who Wouldn't Stop Crying?
Thank you for the question. My inspiration actually comes from just real life experience. A lot of the stories I write, while this is my first published book, I do have a lot of other books um, in progress and some that are not yet published. But I'm really just telling day-to-day stories of the average educator. I'm a New York City public school educator. I've been one now for over a decade. I've worked primarily in elementary school across all grades. My target group of target students are children with disabilities, and there are so many interesting stories there. This particular book came about from a real life interaction with two children on the first day of school who literally wouldn't stop crying. And it was interesting because this was kindergarten about 6 years ago now. And they just cried. First day of school jitters, wouldn't stop crying in class, at recess, in the playground, in the lunchroom, just basically cried throughout the day. And sometimes as teachers, it's hard we just watch helplessly because the children are new and we're getting to know them. And sometimes we're both nervous. And I decided to just make it a story that I told every year. I had a little girl like you who wouldn't stop crying last year. And guess what? She cried so much she couldn't cry anymore. And then I found out that the story resonated. And then eventually I decided, you tell the story every year. Everyone knows this story. And eventually some children, and I I'll say, well, the story is in a book. And I was like, you know what? You actually need to publish it and just put the story in a book. So that's it in a nutshell.
Well, that's fantastic. I think what you said about just something so relatable to children, the crying, it's such a great topic to kind of build a lesson around and build a children's book around. Now, and other emotions that children do have that are similar to that, or say sharing, etc. Now, why is making this book interactive so important for the learning process?
I wrote the book from the lens of an educator. Most of us educators, or most of us who are in the school system, devote our time primarily to just teaching in the classroom and neglecting the other avenues of teaching or other ways that we can actually reach children. And that was what piqued my interest. We read a lot of books in school. And as an educator, I'm like, a lot of these stories are similar to stories that I tell as well, or that we can tell. And just taking that next step to put in the stories that we teach the children or we use as learning tools and just putting a spin on it and making it say my own story or any other educator's story. And so that's the lens that there are many other ways we can reach children from just the traditional walls and publishing books and writing stories to actually reach these children is just another avenue.
Right. Now, how can themes of exaggeration and suspense help teach children's lessons?
I think those are the greatest themes to use that are very overlooked. We all can relate to stories that were exaggerated, but for some reason the lesson was communicated to us. A lot of even taking it all the way to Greek mythology, or a lot of folk tales, or a lot of fairy tales are all steeped in either exaggeration or just the unreal. Even taking it to to the superheroes. But there's a connection between us and just the unreal or the exaggerated parts of life that for some reason we resonate with and connect with and are able to teach us lessons. We are familiar with fairy tales like Cinderella, Goldilocks and the Three Bears. I can go on and on. Snow White, but these are legendary stories with recurring themes that are not real. They are exaggerated, but the lesson there, the moral and the themes are communicated. So that was just the idea behind that, like using a lot of exaggeration to teach children lessons that they will learn, things, and also things that parents say to us, you need to eat your greens or eat your salads or, eat healthy or else what? So just exploring that or else and making it relatable in a way that children can learn a lesson from.
Right. I think it's really important, the exaggeration part, especially with children, because sometimes they don't always get the subtleties and nuances. Well, Dr. Asuki, thank you so much. It was wonderful insight that you gave us on teaching as a children's author.
And thank you as well. It was my pleasure to be here. Thank you for the platform. Thank you for the opportunity. And I guess I'm excited.
Lastly, where can our listeners find and connect with you?
So viewers can find me and connect with me on social media. I'm very visible on social media. I have a public Instagram page. I'm also on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel. And I'm not on Facebook, but I'll say my IG platform and YouTube are the best ways to reach me. Send me messages. I'll respond and always willing to communicate.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to today's interview with Harvard educated educator, author, and YouTuber, Dr. Elechi Osueke. Be sure to check out our website for more videos. Wishing you all a fulfilling and successful writing journey.